What up, world? Welcome to another episode of RMT, That's Real Band Talk. It's your boy, Stan the Man, coming to you with another great conversation piece on today. And before we get started, I want to thank you for joining me here on RMT. So, hey, let's go ahead and get into it today. Today, I want to talk about 5 things that helped me when I stopped drinking. 5 things that helped me when I stopped drinking, okay? So, number one thing that helped me to stop drinking was I had to want to stop drinking for myself. It was plenty of times that I wanted to quit drinking for my wife, quit drinking for my children, quit drinking for health reason, but ultimately it came down to me wanting to do it for myself. And when I wanted to do it for myself is when I actually quit. Because when I tried to quit for other people, I would quit for like a month, a couple of weeks, I might go 2 months. I might sneak and say I'm quitting, then sneak and have a drink, you know, and even try to, in spurts, drink less. I tried all those things, but it didn't work for me because I was trying to do it for everyone else or everything else and not for me. So until I decided that I wanted to quit drinking for me and not for nobody else, that's when the process started to happen. Mentally, I had to put in my head, who am I really doing this for? Who am I really doing this for? Am I doing this for me or am I doing it for show? If I'm doing it to make somebody else happy, to appease other people, am I doing it for them? Or am I actually taking this step for me? Until I acknowledge that I'm taking this step for me, that's when the process started to work. And that's when I started to really want to quit drinking because I wanted to do it. And see, a lot of us, we like to drink, and one of the reasons I like to drink is because drinking gave me an outlet. It gave me a way out of reality for a little bit. It's like I could be somebody else for a little while, and I didn't really have to deal with the realities of what was going on in my life, and I didn't have to deal with the things that was wrong with me. So when I was drinking, I didn't feel those issues that I felt when I was sober. I didn't think of those things that I needed to work on when I was sober because I was drinking. I was thinking, look, I'm Mr. Invincible. I could do anything. And the other stuff, I ain't worried about that right now. I'm trying to feel good. I'm trying to do what make me feel good at the moment. Just thinking about at the moment. And that right there kept me in a looping around doing the same thing over and over, going through the same thing over and over. The same things kept on happening to me until I wanted to change that situation. I wanted to be sober and wanted to deal with the issues that was around me and also the issues that I had myself. And then also, these are things that help me. Now, if you actually need help, you might want to go to a doctor, a psychiatrist, go get yourself checked in if it's an AAU, whatever you need to do. But these just a couple of things that help me out. Now, I don't give any medical advice. I don't give any I don't give no advice anywhere. You need to go seek any legal advice you need to, or any health issues that you have that you might need to seek a doctor. So go do that. But this just what helped me. Second thing would be set. Second thing would be set goals and change your environment. Okay, setting goals and changing your environment because you cannot continue to be around the same people and get different results if y'all doing the same thing over and over again. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. And one of the things that drinking did for me, it made me lazy and not do the responsible things that I should do. And so it didn't have me setting goals. I didn't care about my goals when I was drinking. I cared about the environment that was going to help me get drunk or the environment that was going to make me feel good while I was drinking. I didn't want to be around people that made me feel uncomfortable while I was drinking. I didn't want to be uncomfortable while I was drinking. So those type of environments I wasn't around. So now that you're not, you gonna have to set some goals. Say, listen, okay, I'm gonna stop drinking. You gonna have to start filling in those times that you used to drink with different hobbies, different skills you want to learn, different people. You're going to have to start changing that environment because you can no longer go to the club. You might not go to the club. You might go over your homeboy house. Y'all might sit out in the garage. Y'all might sit out back on the porch. Y'all might have a certain area that y'all meet up at. You can't go in those areas anymore because they going to trigger you to want to take another drink. They going to trigger you when you're around those people that it's like muscle memory. So muscle memory is like, I remember grabbing that can. I remember drinking this. I remember drinking that. You know, and when you continue to be around those environments, it continues to trigger that impulse to drink, and then also that muscle memory just all automatically come into effect, and you start drinking. You have to set up you some goals now. Like I remember when I first started, what I started to do, I started to hit the gym a lot. Started to hit the gym a lot, and I started to read a lot. So when I started to hit the gym, I started getting into running, and I heard about I didn't know anything about it, but I didn't know that you can win medals when you run different races. So they had 5K, they had 10Ks, they had a half a marathon, they had a marathon. So I was like, man, I looked it up. 5K is like 3.5 miles, like 3.5 miles, a little under, give or take. So I set that goal that I just wanted to run a 5K. I didn't have a certain time that I wanted to do it at. I just wanted to run a 5K and I wanted to get a medal, period. So I set out, I signed up for my first one, paid for the registration, started training, and I had my eyes set on doing my first 5K. And a lot of people will be like, well, why you ain't do this? Why you ain't do that? It was just something that I wanted to do, and I could take my mind off the drink and I can focus on something else, because when I get off work now, instead of me grabbing a beer or going to the liquor store, I know I got to train these certain days. I got to do certain things. So I had Sunday. Sunday I had to train. Monday was an off day. Wednesday I had to train. Thursday was an off day. Friday I had to train. And Saturday I had to train. So when I got off work, I know I had to go and train. Once I start training, and I might train, and the days I didn't have to train, I go to the gym to keep my mind or stop from going places that would trigger me to drink. So I eventually got to the point where I did 1 5K. I was like, I want to step it up. I want to do a time. I want to finish at a certain amount of time, and the next one, then I finish in a certain amount of time. Then me working out, I was like, man, well, I want to do this now. Let me start a podcast. I want to start a podcast to help people out that might be drinking, might have some of the same issues that I'm going through, and I want to be able to help them through their issues that's going on. So I started putting more emphasis towards working on that, building on that, thinking on more things. I started setting goals, like I wanted to go buy a house. So I was like, man, I want to buy a house in these amount of years, and I want to do this, and I want to get a new car. I had all these goals set up, but it took time, and it took focus, and it took planning in order to get there. And so that'll start taking your time away from drinking. You want to feel as much time away from drinking as you did when you was there. You want to plan out something. You want to plan out every part of when that time when if you got off and you started drinking at 3, 5, 10, whatever, you start filling that time up with stuff to do that's gonna be productive and not counterproductive. Start filling up that time, start filling up that space, start occupying your mind with different things other than just drinking. And not only changing your environment and setting goals, but I also set goals to have better relationships with the people around me and also having a better relationship with God. Um, when I was drinking, I didn't have the relationship with my wife and my children or my family that I have now. So I had to go back and mend the things that I kind of messed up between my wife and my children. If it was time, if it was certain things that I did when I was drinking that I had to apologize for. Also, I had to think about just me, just an overall person, the way that I act when I didn't drink or when I did drink. So I had to go back and really understand the things I have done and also the work that needed to be done on me as well. And once I set those goals to do those things, understand this, it's going to take time. I don't want you to think that everything is going to happen overnight. I set these goals, I change my environment, and all of a sudden it's over with. No, you're still going to have the urges. You're still going to have the phone calls. You're still going to have the invites at first. People going to still want you to come around because people like the fact that they have somebody else to indulge in something that makes you feel good. You see, most people, when you go to a bar, you have other people to drink with. Some people drink alone, but a lot of times people drink together. They always promote it. If you watch your sports, it's always a beer commercial or they taking shots. They enjoying themselves, right? So it's the look that make it look like it's such an enjoyment environment to be in. But for me, at that time it was that, but it wasn't nothing being productive in my life. And so some people can handle their liquor or they can still um, they can still live their life the same way and the liquor don't affect them like that. But you, if it is affecting you, it's time for a change. It's time to be a different person. Right? And like I said, I'm looking down in my videos. It's like once you start to change those environments and you start to set those goals and you start to change, one thing that I messed up at was that I was trying to be the drunk me but sober, and I couldn't do it. See, that old person that I was, I could no longer be that person anymore. So now this new person that I'm starting to change into, I gotta learn how to be that person. I had to learn how to be sober. Had to learn how to operate and do things sober. A lot of things I was so used to drinking and doing that I had to learn how to operate without drinking and be sober while I was doing it. And so it was kind of difficult at first. It was kind of difficult when I know at this time, it's usually when I be drinking and I had to start to fill my mind with different things to stop thinking about, oh, it's time to drink for the weekend. Every weekend, you drink, your body just used to it. You be so used to getting off work and going to the liquor store, that's just your normal routine. It was so bad that the guy at the liquor store knew me first name, knew what I like to drink. Oh, you getting this today or you getting that today? Automatically knew who I was. Automatically knew what I was, knew that sale was coming on the weekend. I already knew. So when I talk about like relationship, they get me to my third thing is building a relationship with God. Building a relationship with God that really changed me throughout and helped me with the process of me quitting. Once I started reading the Bible started giving me not only biblical principles on how I should live my life and things I should change and some of the people I shouldn't be around. Also, it started to, when I started to read the Bible, it's like a mirror. And it started to I had to look in that mirror, and I hadn't looked at it in years. It was a reflection of me and the things that I had to change. So the whole time that I'm drinking and I'm blaming everybody else and everything that was going on outside of me, I'm blaming it because that's what's happening. It ain't none of me. Most of the time it don't be us, right? It don't be us. It be the other people and the stuff around us that's happening, but it don't be us. But when I started to read the Bible, it started to put a mirror in my face that I had to face. And I realized how many things that I had to change about me that was wrong. How many things I had to go back and work on about me. Not what everybody else was doing, but within me. It's a certain change that has to come about in order for you to actually want to continue to live this and be sober for the rest of your life. Now, it's going to take time. It's going to take grace. And I was fortunate enough. I was blessed. God gave me grace to be able to quit drinking without going to AA class, going to a group to be able to, a support group, or even having people to actually cheer me on that I quit. So I had enough grace, but that might not be you. You might need to find a group. You might need to go to AA meetings, and there's nothing wrong with that, because what works for me might not work for you. You need to find something that's going to work for you, but I'm just telling you things that help me. So whatever's the best for you, whatever things that can help you change and help you quit drinking, try it, man. But make sure you're doing it for you. And let me call because I got my notes here. And also, it was just me being weak and not want to face my problems. So I used that liquor to kind of cover up my insecurities. I used that liquor to kind of smooth over the things that I didn't want to be responsible for. So I can be irresponsible because they be like, oh, well, you drinking. He got a drinking problem. So since he got a drinking problem, that keeps me from facing the responsibilities that I'm supposed to face. That keeps me from facing those problems because they going to look at the drinking first before they look at me actually being a man. So since you got a drinking problem, we going to look at the drinking problem than looking at being a man problem. So me being a weak man and not dealing with my problems, I want to drink the liquor so people can look at the drinking problem before they look at the man problem. And that was my biggest problem. So when I started facing sobering up, I had to face the man. I had to step up. I had to start to be responsible. I had to start to be a stronger man to lead my household, because it showed me being weak how my household was going about by me being weak within some capacities. And see, this another thing is that relationship with God helped me a lot when I was having withdrawals. And a lot of people be lying, like, I had withdrawals. That's something that I had to start to deal with. And when I did, I started to pray to God to help me with them. I started to ask him, listen, when I was having one, to take that taste away from my mouth, take those thoughts out of my mind, because I knew that I couldn't do it by myself. It was something, when I started to really face it, it was something that was more of a challenge than I thought. I thought that it was something I could just easily lay down and I won't mess with it no more. It wasn't like that. It was a battle that I had to battle constantly, face it every day until I really got over it. But I had to constantly face it and stand up to it every day. And by me praying and getting closer to God, they gave me a better chance to fight, because not only I had that word and that discipline that was off in me, I also started to pray and have that relationship. So the better my relationship got with him, I got even stronger and was able to fight it more and more and more to the point where I didn't have a desire to have it anymore. I didn't have a desire. I could go around my friends at a party and be able to talk and, be able to socialize and be sober. Because at first, man, I was going around people and then it was odd. Um, it was kind of odd drinking because, man, at first, when I first stopped, I stopped being around people probably for about a year and a half. I stopped just going around a lot because I had to learn how to be me. I didn't know how to go around people without being drinking. How would they like me? What would they think about me? Man, what they thinking about me? Let me see what I need to do. And see, one thing that stopped me and that gave me to my fourth thing is don't worry what people think. Don't worry about what people think. See, I had to get to that point in order to be the authentic me, being sober. I had to quit thinking what people think. Oh, man, you don't drink no more? Oh, man, you don't hang out no more? You don't come around us, man? Oh, first thing they're going to say, you acting funny. You think you better than us. You think you all that. You might as well get ready for it. You might as well get ready for it. And if you are one of the people if you are a people pleaser, you could easily slip back into peer pressure and end up drinking again. And you know what they're going to say? Oh, man, that he ain't about what he talking about, man. We got him to start drinking so easy. He talking about he was quit. Nah, I know he ain't quit. He lying. He ain't real about that. He still drinking. He ain't stopped. That's what's gonna go on. And I'll tell you this, when you stop being around people, and when you drinking, sometimes you might overshare certain things. And when you're not around them no more, you know what they gonna do? They gonna start lying, gonna start talking about you, spreading little rumors around you. You might as well get ready for it. You might as well get ready for it. And if you continue to worry about that, it's going to drive you crazy. And you might go back to where you was at before. That's why the things before, the setting goals, changing your environment, the relationship with God, all of it going to go hand in hand when people starting to talk about you. You'll have something to take to pour your time into now. That new skill, that new hobby, the new things, the new goals that you have set, the relationship with God that you're building, all of that, you can take that energy and put into that when people starting to talk about you and all the information that you've been studying on and you've been building yourself on, you can use that to combat with that what they talking about. Now, let me say this. Is that an easy task? No. I'm not gonna say it's an easy task. I'm not gonna say it's an easy task when people that you love and you care about are talking about you. The friends that you was once around that y'all bought liquor together, y'all smoked weed together, y'all probably ran females together. Y'all probably did all these things together, and now they don't want to deal with you no more. Not that you did anything wrong. It's just that y'all don't have anything in common anymore. Y'all don't have anything in common. So what you start to find out when you stop drinking, you'll find out how many people you don't have anything in common with. The only thing y'all had in common was the liquor, was the drinking. That was it. Now you finding out, oh man, this relationship was counterproductive. I wouldn't get nothing out of it, but just a good time for a little while. Maybe a hangover the next day. That was it. But as far as something that was going to build me up, or we building each other up, or we building towards something that could help other people, no, it wasn't none of that. It was just that only thing that we had in common was that. The only thing that we had in common was us getting wasted all the time and having fun. That's the only thing we had in common. But other than that, nothing. And it's hard when you start to sober up and you realize time that you wasted. You realize the people that you shouldn't have been around, but drinking kept leading you down that path, had you thinking that those was the right friends and those was the right environments that you should have been around. But it wasn't. You weren't getting nothing done. And let me say this. And it's easy to say that I don't care about nobody. And it's easy to say don't worry about what people think. But if we be honest with ourselves, it's a couple of people that their opinion means something to us. It does. It does mean something to us. And it hurts when you find out that person, that their opinion means a little something to you, that they feel a certain type of way about you, and you ain't know it until you get sobered up. Oh yeah, that one hurts. That one hurts to find out the main person that you loved or you cared about and you really thought you had that bond with them outside of this drinking, you realize that you didn't. But I'm going to leave you with this though. Regardless if you're doing good or you're doing bad, people going to talk about you. They're going to talk about you. And it's going to be a tough period because it's going to be kind of lonely. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be kind of lonely. But I promise you, God started to fill people in, right? And they get me to my last point is this. You got to come to terms that you're going to lose a lot of people. Just keeping it a buck. You're going to lose a lot of people. You know, when you are out drinking, I say, man, when I was drinking, man, every weekend I used to barbecue, have a yard full of people. Everybody used to come over. We was having a good time, buying 30 packs, buying filth, buying gallons, just having a good time coming over. And when I said you at least have maybe 10 to 15 people over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know, just spending a lot of money. And once you stop doing that, a lot of relationships that tied to that drinking, it stops too. A lot of those relationships that tied to that kicking it every weekend, it stops too. And you might as well get ready to not get invited as much to parties, not get invited as much to events because they know, well, you don't drink no more. He's not the same person. We don't want him around. Especially if you start having God involved. Now he saved. I don't want to come him around. He lame now. That's first people say you lame because you don't drink. And I know it was this comic. It was this comedian. I can't think of his name right now, but I don't know. I might put the clip in there. But he says, "Man, you get mad at me because I don't want to drink poison." And it was funny, but that's the truth.
I just stopped drinking. I used to drink, and I wasn't an alcoholic. Like, whenever you tell people you don't drink,
Yeah.
they always want an explanation. They always want to know what happened. Was it a problem? Was you beating your kids? Did you ruin marriages? Did you kill somebody in the vehicle? Like, what happened? We can't believe you don't drink poison. Explain to us why you don't drink poison. I don't get the shock. Like, if I was to tell somebody, man, I don't never drink water, they'd be like, oh, okay.
Then one of the things about when I was drinking and I lost a lot of people was that when I was drinking, I was overly friendly. I was giving, making sure I was looking out for everybody. Everybody come over and eat. You don't need no money. You don't need none of that. I mean, that's cool, right? And if somebody need to borrow some money, they call me. Oh, go ahead. I got you. You give me the money. Shoot, they give it back to me. If they don't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna worry about it. That's cool. And with being like that and being having a big heart inside of drinking, people can start to take advantage of that. And a lot of times I got took advantage of because I was drinking and I thought I was just being a good person. by looking out and helping out and doing this and doing that. And then guess what? When I start to say, well, nah, I can't do that, people start to pull away. Nah, they couldn't take advantage of me no more. They start to pull away. It started to be a little bit different when they couldn't take advantage. When I was saying yes as much, when I wasn't giving as much, people start to pull away because now you acting funny. Since you done stopped drinking, you a different person. It's because he done stopped drinking. He act funny now. He crazy now because he done stopped drinking. No, you're not crazy. It's just that you done came to your senses and you recognize that you was being taken advantage of at that moment. It's not that you can't be a kind person and you can't do for people, but it's a time and a place to do everything. And now that you sober, now that you understand the concept of your money, the concept of your time, the concept of wasting it as well, now that you realize that and you want to take back control and you want to set boundaries and you don't want to do certain things, yes, you're going to push a lot of people away. Absolutely. You're going to make a lot of people mad. Yes, you are. You're going to lose a lot of people that would want it to be around you. They ain't going to want to be around you no more. They don't. It's not that you did something bad. It's just the fact that you want to do something good and they don't want to do that. Since they don't want to do that no more, now I'm not calling him, man. I ain't finna invite him to the party. He lame now, man. He boring. I don't want to fool with him no more. Oh man, that nigga Stan, man, he used to be cool. He used to let me hold something, used to look out for me, man. They would start lying and coming up with so many other things that you did wrong and this and that. But people would never tell you about the 100 times that you helped them, but they'll tell you about the one time that you didn't help them. When people start to lie and tell every negative thing about you, but they won't tell you the good things that they done for you. But the one, man, just a few times that you might not do for them, they will let the world know about that. But they would never let the world know how many times you let them borrow money, how many times you looked out for them, how many times you gave them a ride to work or let them use your car, or went and bought food to put in their house, whatever the case might be. They're not going to tell you that. But they are going to be quick to let you know, hey, you know what? Stan ain't no good, So people will slowly start to fall off. There's nothing wrong with you. But you got to be okay with being alone on this journey. You got to be okay with changing for the good for you. Changing for the good of your immediate family, your wife, your kids, changing for them, changing for yourself. You got to be okay with being alone because everybody don't want to do it. Everybody don't want to see you change because some of the benefits that they get, they might not be able to get it no more. Some of the things that you used to do, you're not going to do it anymore because you set boundaries and you change into a different person and you want different things. So some of your goals might be some financial goals and you might not be able to get them the money you used to. You might not let them be able to get your car like you used to because you want to work overtime and do other things. It might be like that. And they'll slowly start to fall off. But this is the good thing I want to leave you with. As people fall off, God will start to add people that need to be there to help you get to your goal and will make sure that they don't need nothing out of it, but they want to make sure that they just want to see you succeed. They want to see the sober you succeed. They want to see you do better as an individual. They don't care about you not drinking, not doing this and not doing that. They want to see you succeed as a person. They want to see you succeed as a man out there in this world trying to do something for yourself and trying to leave that liquor in the old life that you was behind. See, this is the thing. Sometimes to come back better, you got to tear down everything that you had before. Old building, old pipes, All the old stuff in there had to be tore down. Some of the things you can still use. Because have you ever heard somebody say the house has still got good bones? So you can build something from that? You still got good bones. There's some of the stuff you got to tear away and get away and bring some fresh new things to build it up to make it even stronger and better than what it was before. And that's you. So don't worry about what people say. Don't worry about what people do. Just go back, look over these these 5 things. I hope they can help you out because these are some of the things that help me out. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm Stan the Man. You can catch me on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Stan the Man. Also, Real Men Talk Podcast, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Until next week, peace.